You might remember this computer. This is an old Intel-based iMac. I used this in the iPad unlocking video, and it's been sitting on the floor directly below this table ever since then. Notably, this is the one that doesn't hold the screen angle, and the entire front screen is not actually attached. And that did cause some problems. When it was sitting down there on the floor, the screen came down, crashed into the concrete floor, and there's a crack in it now. It's kind of hard to see. I'm hoping that the screen is a separate piece from this front glass. That would be really nice because I want to turn this into a monitor. Yes, the only redeeming features of these very old iMacs is their displays. They are 27-inch 1440p screens. Speaking in Canadian dollars, a 1440p 27-inch monitor would cost like $180 here. If I could turn this into one, that would be pretty cool. And I've actually got two of these things. This one is a little bit older, has a little bit worse of a screen, but it's still 27-inch 1440p, and the rest of the computer is useless, so I don't feel bad about not using it. Advantages of the newer one. This is a slightly nicer screen. Disadvantage of the newer one, it's held on with adhesive, which really sucks for this. Advantages of this computer, the whole front is attached with magnets. That's really nice. So what is the plan? How do we turn these into computer monitors? I want this to just be like an HDMI or DisplayPort input. Well, that is where these things come in. You might remember the video where I did this with laptop screens and ended up with these little portable monitors. This project is doing pretty much the same thing, but with screens that are actually going to be super useful by the end of this. These are controller boards with DisplayPort, HDMI, USB audio, and most importantly, these can drive 1440p to the iMac screens. First things first, these computers are unwieldy and I don't want them on my table anymore, so let's tear out the display panels. If you have an iMac new enough to not be a magnetic front, you do have to cut the adhesive around all of this, but mine is currently not attached, so I can just lift this up, unplug the cables inside, and pull this thing off. In theory, I can pull it off. It's actually kind of staying attached at the bottom. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. While I'm in here, I'm gonna take that SSD. That can still be useful. It's crazy that this entire thing is all aluminum, everything, super nice, black circuit boards and everything. And yet, this is completely worthless these days. I got both of these computers for free, but the most you'd be able to sell them for is like $50 to $100, I'm thinking. These things are just too slow to do anything anymore. Well, technically that's not true. You could do something with them, but it's not gonna be worth it. Display panel 1, let's take apart number 2. Wow, that's sharp. Whoa. Note if you're going to disassemble an iMac, parts of this are quite sharp and will probably cut you. Unlike Apple's more modern way of building things, this screen is attached with screws. So I take out all the screws around here and the panel will come out. Man, talk about a storage and RAM crisis. Maybe a too much storage, I got another SSD. I'm holding up everything at the same time. I'm gonna try to put the glass back on here. Perfect. That kind of looks awesome. Wait, hold on. How have I never seen people run an iMac like this with a separate monitor? This is like gaming PC side panel for Mac users. This is awesome. I don't know if it's gonna be me, but can someone please build a modern PC with good parts in here with the glass panel on the front? That'd be kind of cool. Well, you can definitely see the advancement in display technology. This old one is an absolute beast compared to the newer one. Like, this is heavy. So the information you'll need to buy yourself a driver board can be found on the back of the displays. Both of these are LG displays and the model numbers. This one's listed here, that one's listed right there. So you take those model numbers, type them in, buy a controller board, you'll end up with one of these. And now we see if we can get this to power up the screen. Also, I would really like to know if the part of this screen that I cracked is the front glass and it can be taken off, or if this is just cracked forever now. I'm not going to lie, this seems fairly permanently attached. This might just be cracked. Actually, the more adhesive things I take off, the more screws are unveiled, and I think maybe that will come off. So this will separate now, but it's the actual like diffusion layers of the backlight in there, not the front glass coming off. So yeah, maybe don't do that. This might be a lost cause, but at least we have the other one still. Let's just find out what this looks like and see if we're gonna continue with this or only do that one maybe. I'm gonna plug this controller cable into the back of the screen. Then we plug in the backlight wires. I don't know if it's noticeable on camera. The crack is noticeable in person. I think I'm just gonna continue with that anyway. It's not that bad and it's not affecting the actual display. It does kind of suck that that was completely my fault though, and it fell onto the concrete floor after I owned it. This thing survived like 12 years before me, and now it's cracked. HDMI input and 12-volt power. There it is. And yes, this one also works completely fine. This is only running at 1080p right now, but I assure you it is indeed a 1440p display. At this point, with both panels working and having DisplayPort inputs, there's a number of options for what I can do with these. Option number one, take the computer out of the iMac, put the screen back in with the controller board, and this is then the stand and stuff for it. But I don't really want to have this big iMac thing, so I'm not gonna do that. Option number two, if you were gonna build something like, I don't know, an arcade machine or something like that, this is already ready for that. It's a bare panel with a controller board. It's ready. Option number three, and the option that I am going with, I am going to glue a metal plate on the back with VESA mounting holes. That way this thing can just go onto a monitor arm. Going this route, you could do whatever you wanted to this. You could like 3D print a bezel or something, make it look nice, cover up the back, cover up the electronics, but I really don't care what this looks like, so I'm going to use it just like this. The controller boards are all attached. I've got my VESA mounting holes. Let's put this thing on a stand. I guess I mean arm. And that right there is exactly how I intend on using this screen. It will be on the side of this desk for me. And of course, the other one also goes on there just fine. And this one actually looks better because it is a black bezel around it. Although pretty fragile without the frame of the iMac. There we go. So is this a worthwhile idea? There's a couple things to consider with that. Number one, what iMac do you have access to? If you have to pay for the iMac, no, it's probably not worth it. Also, if the one you have access to is one of these old ones with the not very good screens on them, also probably not worth it. I would do it if it has a 1440p screen. This is less than 1080p. So if you already have an iMac and you want to turn it into a monitor, I would say go for it. Definitely worth it. The controller boards are not that expensive. If you have to obtain the iMac, probably not worth it. As for me, I am very happy with my two new 27-inch 1440p monitors converted from iMac screens. These are going to be a lot more useful to me like this than they would have in the actual iMacs. So thank you for watching, get subscribed, come back next week. Yeah, that's it. Productive video plus 2 monitors. This is pretty sweet.